Race 2B is about to get underway here at Rockingham, and we had a few unexpected showers this morning, which has left the track a little bit greasy. With this many Mazdas on track, it's surely going to be an interesting watch. Now we have Marcus Bailey in P1 and a familiar face of the paddock doing a guest drive of Kevin Brent in P2. So with that, we're going to hand it straight over to Jake to run you through all the action.
Well, this is going to be an intriguing situation. This is actually going to be the second attempt at a start. We had an aborted start before. Marcus Bailey and Kevin Brent were pole position of the original grid from John Pethick and Paul Tucker. Will Hayden, Nick Ledoyen, Alan Hawkins and Bruce Robinson came next, with Jake Stiles and Richard Bartlett rounding out the top 10. Then it is Richard Wotton from Chris Ginn, Clive Chisnell, Bill Taylor, Jonathan Fieldsend and Sam Jarvis. And then rounding out the field we have Elliot Han from Dale Whiteman, James Love, Charles Muggleston, Lewis Cannon and Graham Rumsey. Now this restarted race is only going to give us, I think, looking at the mathematics, I think we're only going to get about 8 to 9 laps or so from this, because we're reducing the time to 15 minutes as a result of the red flag from earlier. And as you can see, pole position now as a result of that earlier problem is the 22, getting a perfect start from the front. That's Paul Tucker. So the order is slightly changed after that earlier red flag, but that doesn't mean the racing is going to be any less exciting. Tucker is your leader away. Bailey trying to get away from Kevin Brent. And that is John Pethick there, still in 4th position. Where's Nick Ledoyen? He's a long way down the order. That is where he finished at the first red flag. So we are continuing on our way into the hairpin. Not a bad start, this, from Marcus Bailey to fight his way back into position. And as they roll off the power onto the short stretch to Yentwood from Dean. Whoops, a bit of a moment for Bruce Robinson. He took to the grass. They get themselves back onto the inside line. Just keeping an eye out for Nick Ledoyen. There he is, the number 60, currently battling away with the likes of James Love, and the 20 in there as well of Christopher Ginn. He didn't have the best of original starts either. Richard Bartlett's getting himself in the mix. We're on board with Clive Chisnell. We've got 2 or 3 cars battling away for position in front of us through Piff Paff. Well, Clive Chisnell didn't want to hit the brakes there, but he didn't really have a choice. Otherwise, he could have sailed right into the back, unfortunately, of Jake Stiles. So he's got to be careful how he goes about this. He's going to try and get a really good run off the corner. But this is the 22. Paul Tucker leading the way from Kevin Brent up the inside. That's Bailey on Pethick. But Pethick is going to have the inside line for Tarzan if he manages to hang this together. Careful, guys. Don't take each other off. They're going to be side by side for the braking zone for Tarzan. And surely Pethick is going to get this 3rd position back. He does. So it's Tucker, Brent, Pethick, Bailey. And the rest of the field continue its way through Tarzan. Ooh, nice move there from Chris Ginn as he gets on the inside of James Love. And he is currently being chased by the 14 of Elliot Han. So Han is going to chase him down the school straight. We're on board with James Love. That is Chris Ginn in front of us. You've got to pace yourself on this first lap. You don't want to do anything silly. Into the chicane. Left. Right. You're not using too much curb at this point in the race as they go into that final turn. And that's Nick Ledoyen. Unfortunately, a little bit of a tangle there with Chris Ginn. So Nick Ledoyen, who was already having a bit of a nightmare second race, has now almost certainly fallen to the back of the grid after that spin. So they come onto the home straight. I think it might be curtains, actually, for Nick Ledoyen. Never mind last place. I don't see him progressing much further in this one, unfortunately. Game over. Now it's Kevin Brent who has got past Tucker for the lead, and Pethick's going to try and come through as well for 2nd position. A big tack slapper from Tucker. He has to blend off the power, and he drops initially to 3rd, in danger of going to 4th, but he holds off the position from Bailey. And now that is the 65. Will Hayden trying to get himself into the mix as well. They all work together as they try and get after our race leader, the guest driver, Kevin Brent. Hawkins is in there in 6th position, and the back end stepping out a little bit as he goes through. Cool, that very nearly ended in tears there. Now is Lewis Cannon behind him, who originally started this race from back in 21. Doors bang! That's up the inside. That is a very tight run. These two again at it. Will Hayden side by side with Marcus Bailey, the original pole sitter, don't forget. Bailey trying to squeeze him into Gracelands. Don't even think about it, mate. I'm having the place. So, very decisive manoeuvring there from Marcus Bailey on Will Hayden. I am going to hold the lead in this little charge. Thank you. Made that one very clear. So, Brent still hanging on in front of Pethick. Then in 4th position, that is still Tucker. Nice move from Cannon on the inside of Hayden. And Robinson gets out sideways. Hawkins may get a good run here. And so too is a good chance for the 2 of Jake Stiles. Bruce Robinson, arms in the air. What am I doing? And over to his right comes Hawkins. Up to his left comes Stiles. Bruce Robinson sliding around all over the place. Get the car straight, Bruce. Goodness me. That was a bit of a sliding, slippy show there. So he comes through the final turn. Oh, nice puff of dust from the number 2, Jake Stiles. I think that was left there from one of the earlier incidents in the day. But Jake Stiles comes onto the back straight. Meanwhile, further up the road, we've got this nice tussle between Cannon and Hayden. So Lewis Cannon chasing after the leading four with Hayden in company. Now they are just drafting their way up to the top four once again. Here's Pethick having a look on the inside of Brent for the lead. Bailey is to the right-hand side of Tucker as they duel for third. They roll off Dean Hairpin. And still a chance for Cannon and Hayden to catch them both. And then there's the three further back. Oh, yellow flags, yellow flags. I think we've got safety car. If not, we've certainly got yellow flags at Yentwood. And everybody having to wave. Oh, Clive! Yellow flags. You're going to have to back out of that one, mate. Which he does. So he just suddenly realised at the end there that there were yellow flags. And it's caused all sorts of drama. Because there's a few drivers who have ended up backing off the throttle and then suddenly realising we're not under safety car. We are just under yellow flags. And this is going to make for some pretty crazy racing. Is that Cannon up to second? I think Lewis Cannon has got through all of that mayhem and got second position. So Cannon is now through in a second in front of Tucker and Bailey. Pethick is now trying to come up the inside of him. So here comes Pethick trying to get through on the inside of Hayden. No chance. Hayden cuts across to hold on to fourth position. But as a result of all of that, it looks to me like Marcus Bailey has made another clean break out in front of this race. So Bailey is your leader. Cannon in second place. Then it's Tucker, Hayden, Pethick, Jake Stiles now in the mix in sixth position as well. So those yellow flags, I'm not sure what they were for, but certainly somebody was out of the race. A very interesting situation there. I'm not sure many people realise what exactly was going on at that point. I think that might have been for Charles Muggleston, because Richard Wooten is no longer circulating, I noticed. Charles Muggleston is no longer circulating either. So I think both of them have ended up out of the race somehow. So big difficulties there. But up the straight they come once again. Still the battle is raging for position. Here comes a move up the inside from Brent, who lost an awful lot of time in all of that. He now tucks in behind the 44 of Bill Taylor, having made the move on Elliot Han. So Kevin Brent, after all of that, is having to fight his way back through the order. That is not quite where he wanted to be. So he makes the dive for the inside of Dean Hairpin, and the real mission begins for him in earnest now as he tries to charge his way forward. 45 is in the mix there as well. That's Graham Rumsey. He's made up a few places from the start. And in behind him, that looks like we've got Jonathan Fieldsend trying to make his way forward. That is Sam Jarvis, the 11, as they come up to... now there's a car parked on the outside. That, to me, does look like Charles Muggleston. So Muggleston's car is parked up there. That's why we had the yellow flags earlier. So that's what that was all about. It's definitely benefited Cannon. It's ruined Kevin Brent's race, because he's had to try and fight his way through. Lock up on the brakes into Kirby from somebody up the road. So everybody just trying to fight their way through it. Here's Pethick in the front of this quartet. Stiles, and up the inside of Robinson comes Hawkins. Hawkins is going to have to commit to this if he wants to get the move. There's not a lot of room to go side by side at Gracelands. Robinson just holds his thumb up. Thank you for not making the do-or-die manoeuvre, mate. We needed to go through that one together. I think Robinson is more concerned that he came through in one piece than he is that Hawkins didn't or did get the move. And they bang doors as they come off the hairpin. Whoa, Bruce. Bruce, easy, mate. That was a very good battle between those two, to be fair. And now Robinson is trying to keep the door firmly shut on Kevin Brent. So Brent has fought his way back onto the tail of these guys. And this was, at one stage, don't forget, the battle for about 5th or 6th position. But now it's anybody's guess as they charge their way back through to position. Kevin Brent comes back up the inside of Robinson. I wonder if Robinson's got a handling difficulty, because the car is just sliding about all over the place. The car just doesn't seem to be well suited to the circuit. It's not dialed in the way he wants it, as they say. He's trying to cut across Kevin Brent through turn 1, but Brent's just carrying a lot of momentum and a lot of energy through that first corner. He should be able to get the car neatly stopped into Tarzan Hairpin. This is Dean Hairpin, of course, as they come through. But Tarzan is where he could get his next overtaking move if he closes up on the two guys in front. So this is Jake Stiles hanging on in front of Hawkins. Meanwhile, Brent doing the same on Bruce Robinson. See, Bruce's car just seems to be tank slapping through the slower corners. He gets on the power, and then the car just lists sideways as the centrifugal weight of the car shifts in transition. It's a really tricky part of the course. Now Tucker is desperately hanging on to second place for dear life. Cannon trying to make the cut back on the inside, and he should get a good run. Hayden is hanging on in there for 4th position in front of Pethick. Then it's Stiles, then it's Hawkins, and then it's Kevin Brent. Here we go, door to door for second as Cannon tries to make the bold move up the inside of Paul Tucker. Hang on. That's not going to happen, but he might get an opportunity on the way through. He's going to use the curbs to come through at Gracelands. Such is the effort and energy Lewis Cannon is putting in. Don't forget, he's come originally from 21st on the grid and now finds himself back in the top 5. Pethick has come through to take the place away from him, and I'm not in the least bit surprised. How on earth did he hang on to the car through Gracelands? This is a good recovery from Lewis Cannon. He's up to 4th. Could this be 3rd on the way into the braking zone for Brooke? No, you'd need to be an absolute superhuman to make that move. John Pethick hanging on to 3rd for the moment. Marcus Bailey, still your race leader. Paul Tucker in 2nd position, but not for long. Here comes Pethick up the inside. Pethick's going to get a good run. Marcus Bailey just disappearing out in front. Thanks, boys. Squabble amongst yourselves. But for some reason, Pethick just doesn't have the straight line speed that Paul Tucker does. He's going to come around the outside. They are racing each other for gear changes by the look of it. And now Tucker has got less momentum because Hayden and Cannon have worked together. They're going to squabble away. 4 wide on the braking zone to Dean. And up the inside, that's going to be a tangle. Tucker's going to hang on to it. Hayden's going to go with him. Pethick's going to get the space to dart past them both, and there's nowhere to go. So Tucker ends up on the grass. Briefly, Hayden goes up in the air, and they've collided again. Hayden and Tucker can't keep off each other. That's allowed Hawkins to get past Hayden, and now up the inside too comes Kevin Brent. He's going to try and stuck up the inside for Chapman. That won't happen. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. That wasn't Mazda MX-5 racing. That was Skittles. Absolutely brilliant. They were knocking each other over like 10-pin bowling. And now Lewis Cannon on the back of John Pethick. So here they come again, out of Corby. Down the steel straight, up towards Gracelands again. Heading into the left-hander. This should be an interesting tussle. Here comes Kevin Brent. Mind if I do? No chance at all, says Will Hayden. You don't pass me at Gracelands. That's not happening. They now go on to the run towards Tarzan Hairpin. Getting into the braking zone. This is a good run from Jake Stiles in front of Bruce Robinson. These two are just watching this battle unfold in front of them and waiting for an overtaking move to materialise as Hayden shuts the door again on Kevin Brent. Have you not read the script, Kevin? You do not overtake me there. So Marcus Bailey is just being given a free pass to victory as Pethick is now 2nd, Cannon 3rd, Tucker 4th, Hawkins 5th, Hayden is now 6th, and 7th place Kevin Brent. They come through the final turn, back onto the home stretch once again. Fast running out of laps, but that's a great exit for Hayden. He's going to get door to door with Alan Hawkins. And they very nearly rub doors. Watch Kevin Brent though. Brent's going to have an opportunity to get past both of these guys if he keeps the pace. He's going to tuck in behind Hayden. Hayden and Hawkins are going to cut through the air fairly rapidly side by side. And here comes Kevin Brent. Watch, he's going to get past them both in one fell swoop as Tucker is trying his best to defend from Cannon, and he's been hit. Oh dear, just under brakes, Lewis Cannon has nudged Paul Tucker into a spin. Oh dear, now I know he didn't mean to do that, but Paul Tucker, the result is not going to change, and he, unfortunately to me, I think is going to end up down at the back of the field as a result of that. Well, there's one car behind him, but that is going to be, unfortunately, frowned upon by the stewards. They're going to take one look at that incident and fear the worst, I think, from Lewis Cannon. I wonder if there's going to be a penalty handed out to him. That would be a real shame if so. I don't think he's justified of one because that definitely wasn't intentional. And I think they're going to talk about that one afterwards and basically say, well, I was braking and you moved across to uphold your line. And he just ended up tagging him. He might get away without a penalty there. Not a lot really he could do about that one. So Hawkins has now got Stiles chasing him down for P6. Here comes Jake Stiles making the move on the inside line into Tarzan. Brake, 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 steady, steady. Perfect. Absolutely textbook. That's how you make that move stick. And so Jake Stiles now in a P6, charging down the school straight, up towards Brook Chicane. Can he hang on in front of Hawkins once more? Going to get themselves into the braking zone for the chicane. Well, Hawkins is coming straight back at him. He's not going to concede easily, but Jake Stiles has got the place. No problems at all there as they come into the left-hand hairpin and back onto the power once more. Not a bad race at all from Jake Stiles, considering he started from 9th, had to recover early on in the weekend, and now he's back into the top 6. He is one place away from making the A group, as on the last lap is Marcus Bailey. He's had this race all to his own. This has been his own personal playground this afternoon. So Marcus Bailey is looking very good indeed for his next win. And it'll be the last time, potentially, he takes a victory at Rockingham, because, of course, if he wins this race, he goes on to the A group, and he will be starting towards the back So this could well be a very tearful moment for Marcus Bailey to a certain degree, because this could be his final ever victory at Rockingham before the championship unfortunately will be closing its doors at the end of the year. Through to the pit path chicane and braking into Corby. Turning in, he's got no pressure at all. He's just taking it nice and steady at the moment. This is exactly where he wants to line up the car. This is exactly where he wants to position the car. He's having an absolute monster of a race here. Charging his way down to Gracelands. No pressure, no bother, no fuss. This is exactly the kind of race you dream about in Mazda MX-5 Championship racing. You don't get a gift wrap victory like this too often. But Marcus Bailey is going to get the job done. The big question is going to be who's going to join him on the podium, because it's still very close for that second position spot. We've barely seen Marcus Bailey, so he does need some airtime for getting away from the rest of the field. It looks for me at the moment as though it's going to be Pethick from Cannon, and I personally hope that that little moment between Cannon and Tucker is not going to result in Cannon getting a penalty. I don't think he deserves one. It certainly wasn't intentional, and he did do his best to get off the power. He was braking quite hard, so hopefully it will be alright. But Marcus Bailey is going to come through and will take the victory after 8 laps, a shortened race distance from the earlier red flag. But Marcus Bailey gets the win. John Pethick is second, and Lewis Cannon is third over the line in front of Will Hayden and Kevin Brent. Great fight back from Kevin. Jake Stiles is sixth, just misses the A group. And it's going to be him in front of Alan Hawkins, Bruce Robinson, Clive Chisnell and Richard Bartlett to come through in the top 10. And I'm delighted to say that Lewis Cannon isn't going to get a penalty for that manoeuvre. I'm very glad he wasn't. That wouldn't have been justified in my point of view. And the fastest lap of the race too, the 1 minute 50.290 lap was the fastest in that race. 11th place, it is Chris Ginn from Sam Jarvis and John Fieldsend, Elliot Hand, James Love, Graham Rumsey, Nick Ledoyen and Paul Whiteman, with Tucker and Muggleston out of the race, as too was Richard Wotton, and sadly Bill Taylor excluded for a contravention of the regulations. But a great race. Let's hear how Marcus Bailey feels about the win.
Marcus, that was crazy out there. Talk us through it.
2 starts, bogged both of them. Great passing, got to the front, reds come out, messed up the start again, dropped back to 5th, cropped up to 4th, double yellows, and then when after double yellows, the front 2 were sleeping, the next post was green, and I just pressed the go pedal and went. Thank you very much, boys.
So, Brent was obviously in front of you at one point, and then he just fell asleep. So what were you thinking? Were you just like, this is an opportunity?
Yeah, I was on it. I see the first double yellows, see the second, we all slowed up, put it into second, look to my right, see the green flag at the next post, pass the incident, bang, go. And he admitted he was just sleeping.
John, that was a very tough race.
Yeah, it was. Very hectic, yeah. I need to get better at the starts. And there was 2 of them in that race. So the stoppage didn't really help me out very much, because it meant that the big gap behind me closed up. But having said that, I was 5th at that point. I finished 2nd somehow. But yeah, I avoided most of the carnage, I think. And yeah, very happy, very happy.
What was going through your mind when you seen the red flag, then the double yellow flags?
Well, the red flag, I didn't know what it was. I never saw it. And the double yellow flag, I tried not to pass the leader, but until the green flag, but we couldn't wait any longer, I guess.
Brilliant. So have you got anything to do this afternoon going into the A races?
I'll have a look at the condition of the car, but hopefully it's going to be okay, not too bad, and we'll cars running fine apart from that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. Well, we'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Lewis, you started 21st and you came 3rd. How?
I don't know. A few people got caught napping on the yellow flag, and I kind of made a few places up there. The first 2 laps were a bit hectic, so I say we're on a borrowed engine. We had an engine let go in testing Friday. We've had all sorts of problems. I didn't finish yesterday, so I don't know. Pretty good, to be honest.
So have you got any plans going into obviously the A race this afternoon?
Try and finish this one.
That's always a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. Well, we'll let you go and enjoy this, and we'll see you this afternoon.
Okay. Thank you.